All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. So, Caitlin Clark has been back to practice, but not officially back at practice. She's been practicing, shoot around, some drills here and there, but not like a full 5-on-5 practicing. Now, today is Monday. They do have the Commissioner's Cup tomorrow, the championship. Caitlin Clark took to the media discuss. Now, like I said, she shot around some shots today. Stephanie White even alluded to that she didn't participate in too much stuff. They're just trying to ease her back in. Now, maybe today we see her play a little bit more in practice. Now, she was wearing sleeves on both legs, sleeve compression on both legs, with something that I think Leslie Hall was trying to get her to wear, and she was against it. Now it looks like she's trying to but it looks like she had a little bit more movement, and that does not mean anything. But she's day to day. But without further ado, let's go to the footage.
Kaylee, we saw obviously the results for the AllStar Game. I know you're more about winning, but still, that's got to be a little bit meaningful for you, considering you're still so new to the league.
Yeah, no, obviously it's cool, and it's cool that fans get to be a part of it and have a little impact on the game. And then I think also it's going to be really special to be able to do it here in this city. And I think there's already been so much time and effort put in by so many people that aren't going to get credit for what they did to bring All-Star here. So, trying to make it the best All-Star the WNBA's ever had. I know we'll certainly do that, but also, it is certainly a cool honor for sure.
Have you seen your billboard that's going up on the JW?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Anytime you get on the JW in Indianapolis, that's a big deal. Good, thanks.
What do you feel like is a positive trait for you guys?
A positive what? Sorry. Trait. I think just adversity in itself. Nobody said this season was going to be perfect for us. There's always going to be ups and downs. And, I think as we get moving here and get to All-Star, then get through All-Star, these are the moments that we're going to look back on and hopefully be able to, give a lot of credit to for certain situations that we were put in, for, injuries or, coach it not being here for a couple games too. Everybody's been through a little bit of adversity here. So, I think just giving our group credit for being able to stick together and, know that whatever's in our locker room is really all we need to go out there and win. And I'm honestly just really proud of our group every single day, come back with the same energy, same attitude and wanting to get better. So I think just, being in situations that have been, tough and responding really well every single time is what we can always fall back on.
How did you feel after going through whatever, to what extent you went through today?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm going to be day-to-day from here on out and doing everything I can to put myself in a position to play the next game every single time. That's always my goal, is to be available for the next game, and doing everything I can with the medical staff to be able to get my body right, to be able to do that. And but yeah, I feel good, and just going day by day.
How important do you feel like this game is Tuesday, given the fact that this team needs to experience big-time wins?
Yeah.
Together for the first time?
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for us. We're going to go in there, and they have a great crowd, great environment, a team that's very experienced with one another, have been in the finals, have been in big situations, won the Commissioner Cup last year. So I think it's a really great opportunity for us to go in there and see what we're made of, have a little pressure, but also just go out there and play our game. Just know that you don't have to play any different than we have been playing, and personnel will be really important, but we're certainly excited to go out there and try to play for something and get the win.
Figured to have a couple familiar faces in the All-Star roster, some of your teammates.
Yeah.
Have you already gone through that process? Do you expect some gift baskets from some of your teammates that joined you there in the roster?
I certainly, obviously, I'm going to try to get my teammates on my team. Why wouldn't I? That's obviously the goal. And once they come out with whoever has made it and whoever hasn't, I guess I get to pick and choose. I don't really know how it works. I guess I just found out 2 hours ago, but obviously my first goal will certainly be able to have my teammates on my team. So absolutely.
Kelsey, how refreshing is just kind of having the last day to maybe mentally reset?
All right, so you listened and got to hear everything what Caitlin Clark had to say. And like Stephanie White, she did allude to also that Caitlin Clark had played, not played, but participate in practice, and she's day to day. Now, day to day does not mean she's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. No, day to day does not mean that. So if some of y'all that don't know what day to day means, so I'm going to break it down to y'all. So in basketball terms, day to day means day to day referring to a player's injury status, including they are recovering from an injury, but they are available for the next game the availability for the next game is uncertain and will be evaluated daily. It implies the injury is not severe, but the player's participation is questionable. Now, here are some more detailed explanations. Uncertainty, day to day designation means the medical staff is unsure if the player will be able to play in the upcoming game, but they are not ruling it out. So, and then it says not on injury reserve, meaning players listed day to day are not eligible for injury reserve IR list, which is reserved for longer term injuries. So, for instance, we seen Caitlin Clark had that groin injury, and she was out 5 games at that time, and then she came back for the New York, and then the Connecticut game happened, and to me, I felt like she kind of like got a little beat up in that game, but then she was able to play. Was she was able to play? No, she wasn't. She didn't play against Seattle, but they did beat Seattle, and then they lost against the. I think she played against Seattle, and then she didn't play against the Sparks or the the oh the team that just played a few minutes ago. Golly, oh man, I can't remember. But anyway, so they just played them. They just beat them too. Oh man, um, the Wings. Woo. But now, possible game time decision. Day to day designation means a player might be game time decision, meaning their status will be determined closer to start of the game. So we have all of the different verifications of day to day. So just know that she's day to day. Her status could change. Her status could change today. She might have a setback today, might not be available tomorrow. But if she goes through everything today and fine, and she's playing and participating, she's still feeling good, then she could be a game time decision for tomorrow's game. Then the thing about it is she could not play. Now, I do want to throw this out here because there's rumors that Caitlin Clark is faking injury. Um, to me, it's kind of smart that this Fever team low manage her a little bit. I think she was low management, starting low management day to day, especially when it comes down to back games. She could play in the um, back to back games. She could not play in the back to back game, you know, because you think about it, they had the Sparks and the Wings, and she didn't play in neither one of those games. But I always said that she was going to shoot for the Commissioner's Cup because that is something that she really wanted to play in. That's the championship game. That's against the Fisher Collar. So you thinking about this, she wants to play in that game. Now, was she playing in? No, there could be a possibility. But the Fever only going to be playing with 9 players. I don't think that's going to be enough to beat the Minnesota Lynx. Caitlin Clark would need to play for them to have a chance. And also, I would love to see how Ari McDonald and Caitlin Clark play on the floor. I think that's going to be electrifying. I think that's going to be fast. I think having them both on the floor at the same time is going to be like really speed racing up and down the court. If this Fever team play like they played against Dallas, they will. I mean, it'll be tough, but then you got Michaela Tipson coming in. You could make her play Fee a little bit, give Fee some different looks to really change up the game. I think Courtney Williams probably will be stuck on Caitlin or whoever. I think Ari McDaniel could play on Ari against Natisha Hyman. That would be a nice matchup. You know what I'm saying? I think because they both kind of a little quick. I think Ari's defense is a little bit more aggressive, and that will be looking pretty good. So anyway, will Kayla Clark play? I don't know. To be honest with y'all, I'm just going with the status report. Now we already know that Indiana Fever and Stephanie White them, they they if they was poker players, trust me, they'll win because they do not allow a lot of information to come out at all. You know, they just kind of hold on, but you could just tell that hey, there's a chance that Caitlin Clark could play on Tuesday. But if she doesn't, she doesn't. If the Fever was to pull up an upset and win it, hey, I would love it too. But we have to see. So today is going to be another step for Caitlin Clark to definitely move in the right direction to participate. But until then, we have to wait and see. It will be nice. But anyway, like, and she also alluded to All Star, but I'll do that in a separate another separate video. To let y'all know what she was talking about there. But until then, like, comment, subscribe. Until the next episode, this is your Motivational Monday, Live Wire Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire. It's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it. So official, like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire. Sports and entertainment.